Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 136 of Cameron Sports Podcast. It's host Cameron Lindsay. I'm back with a brand new episode. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking about some college football news updates, game recaps, coaching jobs that are now open. There are now, I wrote down in my notes 11 of the best college football jobs in order that I think are the most interesting to somewhat interesting, maybe. But yeah, let's get started. Let's get right into some news regarding the college football world, regarding coaching jobs. So last weekend, LSU decided to fire head coach Brian Kelly after 3.5 years. He held a record of 34 wins, only 14 losses. His buyout is at least $59 million. Like I said, it came out of the decision, I'll say this: Brian Kelly is not a bad coach. He's a good coach. I just don't think he fits the LSU culture. Even when he first got there 3 years ago, trying to fake Southern accent when he's not from the South. Just be yourself. You don't gotta fake an accent. And I know some people probably don't think Brian Kelly's not a good coach, but he is. Like when he was at Notre Dame, he recruited well. He competed, got his team to the national championship. On a couple of occasions. So it's not like he can't coach. It's not that he's not a good coach. He is. It's just like LSU. I feel like LSU has different standards than Notre Dame a little bit. Like LSU, because think about it. LSU, three of the last four coaches at LSU have won a national championship. Nick Saban, Les Miles, and Ed Orgeron have all won national championships at LSU before they left or got fired. Brian Kelly has yet to do that. Now I'll give him, like I said again, he's not a bad coach because he went 34-14, so he won games. It's just that he didn't win it when it mattered most, regard if it was getting to the SEC championship or getting to the college football playoff, because he had Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner. Garrett Nussmeier was supposed to be a Heisman Trophy candidate or potential first overall pick. That ain't working out. So, I just think it's, change. You need a coach that fits the LSU culture, that can get you over the hump. Like I said, I think Brian Kelly will obviously get a new job because he's too good of a coach to not get a job in college football. I really, some of the schools I wrote down, I can see Brian Kelly being that. It's just LSU is a different breed. Like I said, Nick Saban, Les Miles, Ed Orgeron, all won there. And I know the governor, I seen on First Take or other shows, people talk about the Louisiana governor talking about the AD, or the former AD, because I think he just resigned. The former AD at athletic director at LSU, saying that he will not be picking the next head coach, football coach at LSU. That they will. He said, shoot, he'll let Donald Trump do it. Even though, please don't do that. Donald Trump. I'm not gonna get into politics, but that man knows nothing about no football, especially college football. That's a bad idea. Do not let that man pick that next head coach at LSU. I'm not an LSU fan, but don't do it. I got a future father-in-law, I got an uncle that are LSU fans. I'm pretty sure they probably wouldn't want that. They probably want the best possible guy to be the head coach at LSU. Because LSU got too much talent. They recruit very well. Heck, even when Brian Kelly getting fired, there's still some 4 or 5-star recruits that are still committed to LSU because it's the brand. It's not necessarily the coach. It's the brand at LSU. So I think, of course, if they get the right guy, automatically they're going to be able to recruit within the next 2 years, rebuild that roster, and be able to compete again. Now, another job that opened maybe, I'd say about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, Florida decided to fire head coach Billy Napier. At his time at Florida, he went 22-23. His buyout is $21 million. I saw this coming. I thought it would happen last year, but Florida ended up surprising me, winning some games, getting to a bowl game. DJ Lagway was looking good before he got hurt. So I think that kept his job. And then the athletic director was saying that, oh, we're not going to fire Billy. We believe in him. Like, come on now. I'm like, that's a low, like, I'm not believing that, like, because things change. Because one thing I learned, whether it's college football, either college sports or professional sports, when it comes to, like, the front offices, like, whether it's athletic director, GM, owner, they say one thing, a week or two later, or even the next day later, fired, traded, released. So, I mean, I saw it coming. Florida has not been good. They have not been relevant since, to be honest, since Tim Tebow was there. To be honest, and I just don't think Billy Napier was the guy. Like I said, Florida, you can recruit. They got a brand too, you know, up there with LSU. You know, got talented players. You can recruit players in the state of Florida. I just don't think he was the right guy. But yeah, now another fire that should have probably been happening also, that happened this week actually. Auburn decided to fire head coach Hugh Freeze. At his time, in his short time at Auburn, he went 15-19 and within 3 years. His buyout is, I think, at least $15.8 million. Really, I feel like Hugh Freeze, now this is a coach. If you want to say Hugh Freeze is not a good coach, I ain't got no problem with it, because he failed at Ole Miss and failed at Auburn. I mean, Ole Miss, he wasn't total failure. Like, he was okay. I'll say this: he was okay at Ole Miss, not to the point where how Lane Kiffin is doing, but still. And I just feel like he really failed at Auburn, because there's no way you have all that talent: Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, the running backs, the offensive line, the defense. Auburn's defense is legit. They got some good players on that defensive side of the ball. Even though they lost to Kentucky, they only gave up 10 points. 10 points, y'all. The defense only gave up 10 points. Imagine that. You would think, okay, if you only give up 10 points, you most likely you probably win that game. Guess how many points Auburn put up on offense? 3. And that's just horrible. I'm seeing somebody so talented like Cam Coleman not get the ball as much as he deserves. He's too talented, too big, too fast. I just feel like within his first 2 years, he's never utilized, because Auburn has not had a quarterback. First, he did in the transfer portal with Peyton Thorne. I'm sorry, Peyton Thorne was hot garbage. I'm like, I don't understand why he was a starter to begin with. And now Jackson Arnold, I said before the season started, I just don't fully believe in Jackson Arnold, because at Oklahoma, I did not see this, look at him pass the ball, I did not see no flashy throws. Heck, he got benched at Oklahoma when he was there. Granted, I understand Oklahoma had some injuries to the wide receiver position, but still, it wasn't. I'm like, maybe he could be better than Peyton Thorne at least. I don't see no difference at all, to be honest. He really ain't. He's just a more athletic Peyton Thorne at that. To be honest, it's 2 years in a row Hugh Freeze has failed in the transfer portal. Now, granted, he had a 4-star quarterback in Deuce Knight. I'm like, at this point, if you want to possibly save your job, play the freshman. Put him in, see what he can do. Make a spark. Now, he put the transfer quarterback in from Stanford. He played good against Arkansas. But then again, that's Arkansas. Arkansas is not a good team. They're literally arguably the worst team in the SEC, because they have not won a game in the conference at all. Arkansas is literally the worst team in the SEC. So again, that's kind of not really saying much. So I'm like, I would start Deuce Knight. Save your job. See what you can do. But he didn't do that. You put up 3 points. The student section at Auburn was chanting, fire Hugh Freeze, fire Hugh. And lo and behold, that what happened. And so I feel like Auburn may not be a goodest program as Florida, LSU, but they're a good program. From me growing up, watching Cam Newton go win the BCS national championship against Oregon, Auburn going to the national championship against Florida State. They've been to a couple of national championships. They've been competitive. It's not like Auburn has been buns, like booty juice. No, they have been a respectable, good program. So I think this would be a good job for any coaches out there. They just need to take their time. If they want to keep players like Cam Coleman on that roster, they got to find the right coach. Even though I wouldn't blame Cam if he decides to enter the transfer portal after this season. But again, now let's get to the best available jobs in order from 1 to 111. I'm gonna start from the bottom. Last is UAB. Of course, they fired their head coach Trent Dilfer, former NFL quarterback. They're in the I believe UAB is in the American Conference. 10. I was debating between 10 and 9 with this next one. Oregon. I'm gonna put it at 10. Oregon State. Oregon State a couple years ago, they were actually pretty good. They had DJ Ugangale, but they're like 1-7 now. The Pac-12 will be back, so it's good. It's gonna be good to see the Pac-12 back. It was sad to see that conference go, like a Power 5 conference like that, to see them go, but they'll be back. So it's a Power 5 job. So I got it on the list at 10. Number 9, also a team that will be in the Pac-12 next year. Moving from the Mountain West to the Pac-12, Colorado State. They fired their head coach. I think Colorado. That's what I was saying. Like 9 and 10, like Oregon State and Colorado State are like this. If that makes sense. Like it's like they're like one is so it's like I don't know, kind of a tie because I was like, do I think Colorado State's a better job than Oregon State? Like right, it's like so I decided I feel like put them at 9. Like they're really one is barely better and one is barely worse than the other. So I got Colorado State at 9. Number 8, Oklahoma State. They fired their longtime head coach, Billy. Not Billy. Their long head, Billy. Dang, I forgot his name, y'all. Billy. I don't remember at this. They fired their longtime head coach. And like I said, I ain't gonna lie, Oklahoma State the last couple of years has been the worst team in the Big 12. Like by far. Billy Gunn. Who I remember? I swear I know the name, y'all. But yeah, I just think it's like, it's a Power 5 team, Oklahoma State. It's not a bad program as far as its history, but lately, the past couple of years, they have not been good at all. And like I said, firing a long-time head coach has been there for years and years and years. Matter of fact, he played for this school. He was an alumni, a player. So, yeah. 7, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I got UCLA over Oklahoma State. The reason I got UCLA at 7 because the way they've been playing lately since they fired their head coach, beating schools like Penn State, Michigan State, even though they got blown out by Indiana, UCLA has been playing pretty respectable even since they fired their head coach. So I think that possibly if they get the right guy, they can maybe get on the right track, and it's gonna be a decent job because it's in the Big Ten. You're in the Big Ten conference, so it's not a bad job. Well, it's not a terrible job. It's not a great job, but it's a decent job. You're in the Big Ten. So you get the right coach. You got players most of the players have not entered the transfer portal, so that's one thing right there. 6, Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech is a pretty good school. Like I said, great fans, great crowd. Like I said, I got it slightly over UCLA. Like I said, they fired their head coach. I think they're in the ACC, not a strong conference, but like I said, I think slightly better than UCLA as far as a job. 5, even though they're the worst team in the SEC, Arkansas. Now, granted, I get what you're saying. Like, maybe why would I have Arkansas over Virginia Tech? Because Arkansas is in the SEC. Even though they're the worst team in the SEC, it's still the SEC. So, if they can maybe get some of that NIL money or fundraiser money they didn't put in basketball and put it in football and get the right coach and get the right players, you might have to pay the right players in the transfer portal to come to Arkansas, it could be a decent job. You're in the SEC, you're coaching against other coaches in the SEC. Like, I mean, even though right now the Big Ten is the best conference overall, for my life, the SEC has been the best conference. Overall, the SEC is the best conference. So I got Arkansas at 5. Number 4, Penn State firing their long-term head coach James Franklin after 12 years there at Penn State. Like I said, sad to see him go, but I just felt like, I ain't on my personal opinion, I feel like it was just a change needed to be made. It's like that saying, all good things come to an end. Even though James Franklin, he won at Penn State, he was just in the college football semifinal against Notre Dame, and one turnover. If he probably would have made it to the national championship, he probably still would be there. But like what happened to Ryan Day last year, Ryan Day probably would have been fired if he would not won with that $20+ million roster he had. But he won. James Franklin, talented players. You had the best running back duo in college football, an elite defense, a potential first round quarterback, and then you lose 3 in a row. Of course, the Oregon loss. There's no shame in that. Oregon's an elite team, but you lose to UCLA and Northwestern. Yeah, that's bad. So, but I think Penn State's a great job. Maybe you could argue it could be a little bit higher, but the reason I got it at 4 is because these 3 SEC schools that I just mentioned early in this episode, I got above Penn State. And number 3, I got Auburn. Like I said, again, Auburn is, I think, a really good job. And it'd be funny. I saw some on social media. It said it'd be funny if Nick Saban came out of retirement and coached Auburn. I don't think he would because that caused him chaos in Tuscaloosa. If your longtime head coach, the greatest college football coach of all time, Nick Saban, decided to come out of retirement and coach the rival school, Auburn, man, that would turn so many heads. That would cause chaos. I would love that. I'm not even gonna lie. As a journalist, as a fan, I would love that. But I don't see that happening. If he does come out of retirement, I don't think for Auburn. I think a good names for Auburn would be like Lane Kiffin. Maybe if Dabo ends up getting fired from Clemson, that could be a name. The coach from Tulane, I heard his name is mixed for some of these jobs. That would be a good. Or John Gruden, I know he wants to coach football really in the SEC. But yeah, Auburn's a good job. They got talented players. So if those players can mostly stay and they get the right coach, Auburn can compete within the next few years. They just need to get the right coach and an actual quarterback that can play football at the SEC level. That's what they need. Now, number 2, I got the Florida Gators. You got your quarterback, DJ Lagway. You can recruit in the state of Florida, all that talent. And I've been hearing Lane Kiffin. Granted, really, I think it's possible he could leave Ole Miss if the money's right. But he did say, again, I know, but this is going based on what I saw. He said money doesn't play a factor in his decision. So if that's the case, I feel like he got it good at Ole Miss. His family loves it in Oxford. I've been to Ole Miss on a visit, college visit. It's a beautiful campus, nice town. So I mean, if you're comfortable, I don't see no reason to leave Ole Miss. But I mean, Gainesville, Florida, Sunshine State, because Lane Kiffin has been able to recruit. It's not that Lane Kiffin is at Arkansas and he's not getting these 4 or 5-star recruits. He's been getting these 4 or 5-star recruits at Ole Miss. So it's not like, he goes to Florida, now he can get these recruits. He's been getting recruits at Ole Miss. So to be honest, it's just that Ole Miss has not been able to get to the college football playoff. They'll come up short and lose to a team they're not supposed to. So they just come up short. That's the thing with Ole Miss. So, but we'll see. Now, number 1 job, in my opinion, is LSU. Some people may put Florida, but I got LSU. Like I said again, 3 of the last 4 coaches have won national championships. Nick Saban, Les Miles, Ed Orgeron. You had the best season in college football history in 2019 by Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Derek Stingley, all them, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, all them boys in that team dominate it, and go on undefeated, go win a national championship. And obviously you're gonna be able to recruit in the state of Louisiana. You're gonna recruit down south. That brand, all the players they have recruited, like Leonard Fournette, Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Peterson, Morris Claiborne, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Brian Thomas Jr., and Malik Neighbors, names like that, you're going to be able to recruit at LSU. I just think it's the right job. Now, if I'm Nick Saban, if I come out of retirement, I'll pick LSU because he already has won there. So he'll be the right coach. I don't think Alabama fans would be too mad if he was. I think they'll be more mad if he went to Auburn than LSU. But if I'm LSU, I would try my hardest to get Nick Saban out of retirement. Either Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin, Marcus Freeman. I don't think he's going to leave Notre Dame. I mean, he got a good situation there. Marcus Freeman's a good candidate. Dabo, potentially. Dabo's one of the best head coaches in college football, even though it's not going right at Clemson. Dan Lanning, even though Dan Lanning got so good at Oregon, I would not leave Oregon. Like I said, it's in the Big Ten Conference, an elite conference. That's the best in college football right now. You could try him, see if he'll leave Oregon, but you're going to have to come right with that money. But I don't know. But yes, I got LSU number 1, Florida 2, Auburn 3, Penn State 4, Arkansas 5, Virginia Tech 6, UCLA 7, Oklahoma State 8, Colorado State 9, Oregon State 10, and UAB 11. These are, like I said, 11 jobs that are going to be open this off season after the season's over. So we're going to expect some names. I can't wait to see really who's going to get the LSU, Florida. Yeah, really the top 4 schools. I want to see like who they going to hire as their head coach. LSU, Florida, Auburn, and Penn State. Now, could Clemson become open? Now, some other schools I think that could possibly become open is Florida State and Clemson. I don't know. Part of me feels like Clemson's not going to fire Dabo. I don't know. I feel like they might not fire him, but Florida State, Mike Norvell, that job could become open, and that could be added to this list. I would put Florida State over Arkansas. Maybe Penn State. Would I put Florida State over Penn State? I ain't know. I got to think about that off camera, y'all. That's close, but I would put over Arkansas. I think Florida State would be a way, way better job than Arkansas, regardless if they're in the ACC. But now let's get to the Week 10 game recaps. A couple things. NC State upset at number 8 Georgia Tech, 48-36. Sophomore quarterback C.J. Bailey went 24-32, 340 yards, and 2 touchdown passes. Now, granted, Georgia Tech has been playing elite ball all season, but something told me at some point before they played Georgia in the last game of the season in Atlanta in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, they're going to lose to somebody. And lo and behold, NC State. Now, C.J. Bailey is a tall 6'6" quarterback. He's very talented. He's the real deal. So, but I ain't gonna lie. I kind of thought that Georgia Tech could maybe possibly be undefeated by the time they play Georgia. And that would be really interesting. I mean, it's still gonna be interesting now because if Georgia Tech can get to Georgia with only 1 loss, and let's say Georgia still only has 1 loss, it's gonna be like, who could a winner in this game knock the other person out of the college football playoff? That'd be real interesting. But even I feel like Georgia as a 2-loss team could still get in over a 2-loss Georgia Tech team. Cause I just feel like that. But another game, Auburn loses to Kentucky 10-3. Like I said, you would think if you only gave up 10 points, you will win that game. No, because Auburn only put up 3 points on offense. And yeah, that was bad. And lastly, number 18, Oklahoma upset it. Number 14, Tennessee on the road, 33-27. Quarterback John Mateer went 19-29, 159 yards, and an interception. Tennessee's quarterback Joey Aguilar went 29-45, 393 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. I think that's the reason why Oklahoma won. They caused multiple turnovers. I watched a highlight on social media. Their defense, a strip fumble. Player took it and ran all the way to the end zone. So I don't think Oklahoma really won this game based off of John Mateer because he didn't really play all that well. 19 to 29, only 159 yards and an interception. Joey Aguilar, 2 interceptions, had a big plot to deal with it, losing this game. And of course, Oklahoma ran the ball pretty well, so that played a big factor as well. And lastly, one thing I wanted to cover is Texas. They defeated number 9 Vanderbilt 34-31 at home. Arch Manning went 25 of 33, 328 yards, 3 touchdown passes. And with that win over Vanderbilt, now granted, this game was not close. I'm not even gonna lie. At halftime, the score was 20 or 23-3. And late in the game, it was like Texas was up 34, 31 to like 3 or 10. Vanderbilt ended up coming back late in the game when the game was pretty much out of hand and it was too late for them to come back. So don't let the score fool you. But I got a question is, can Texas make the college football playoff? Potentially, but let's see. I wrote down the remaining games. It's at number 5 Georgia, at home against Arkansas. They got a bye week this week. At number 5 Georgia, at home against Arkansas, and at home against number 3 Texas A&M. Right now they're ranked 13 AP poll, but tonight the college football playoff rankings will finally be revealed, so we'll see their actual ranking because the college football playoff rankings matter, not really the AP rankings. When it gets to this point in the season, the AP rankings don't matter no more. So even a team that could probably be ranked top 5 may get lower ranked to like 9 or something. So, because college football playoff committee is real strict about head-to-head, strength of schedule, key wins, stuff like that. So, but if they can beat, they got the 2 out of their last 3 games is real hard. Arkansas, that's a gimme. But at Georgia and against Texas A&M, I think they got a better shot of beating Texas A&M at home than Georgia because going on the road to Georgia, even though because Arch Manning going against that defense, going against Kirby Smart. But even though Arch Manning has been playing better than he did earlier on in the season, he has over 2,000 yards passing, at least 18, 19 touchdown passes, only 6 picks. So he's been getting better. I know people early in the season call him trash, but it's his first year as a full-time starter. But if they can beat Georgia, they might. That game against Texas A&M gets a whole lot interesting because maybe that could be a chance for them to get to the SEC championship game. Maybe a chance to get to college football playoff. We'll see, but I think they got a legit shot. It's hard. It's gonna be hard because Georgia and Texas A&M. But like I said, at least they got Texas A&M at home. But at Georgia, that's not gonna be easy at all. But yeah, like I said, that's all I wanted to cover today's episode. Like I said, again, I definitely appreciate each one of y'all tuning in. Let me know in the comments who you like out of these best available jobs: LSU, Florida, Auburn, Penn State, Arkansas, Virginia Tech, UCLA, Oklahoma State, Colorado State, Oregon State, UAB. Like I said, I think LSU and Florida and Auburn are the top 3 jobs right now. But yeah, like I said, and one thing I want to say, I'm almost to 300. Like I said, we're in the month of November, early November. We only got about a month and a half, about barely 2 months left. So I want to get to 300. I'm at 270 something. So we almost there. Please let me get to 300. I know we can get there. But yeah, again, if you want to touch down with Cam, click that subscribe button. Click the like button. Turn on post notifications stay tuned for any episode that's uploaded. Follow me on all social medias regarding Cameron Sports Podcast. And I appreciate you more than you know. And I definitely will see you next time. Take care.